A Cleveland suburb is mourning a police officer who was killed in an ambush. Officer Philip Wagner died in the hospital yesterday, a day after he was shot just while he was eating his lunch. Wagner's partner and another officer who tried to help his colleagues were wounded. CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano has the story.
Officers Philip Wagner and Peter Gale had just picked up pizza for lunch and were parked side by side along a dead-end road in Loraine, Ohio. According to police, the shooter was lying in wait.
To my understanding, there was one male who had a vehicle parked at the dead end behind me on Riverbend Drive. When the officers arrived, he opened fire with a high-powered rifle.
Officer Wagner, a Marine Corps veteran, was struck multiple times. The 35-year-old later died. 51-year-old Officer Gale was hit in the hand. Another officer, 47-year-old Brent Payne, responded to the shooting and was critically wounded. Investigators say the shooter, 28-year-old Michael Parker, was killed during the exchange of gunfire.
This was an ambush situation.
It's the latest in a growing trend of ambush attacks against police officers across the country this year. Data gathered by the CBS News Crime Unit shows at least 50 law enforcement officers have been shot in ambush attacks so far this year, on track to exceed the 2024 total. The numbers significantly spiked in 2023 when 138 officers were ambushed with gunfire. Stephen Fiorito is a trustee of the Ohio Fraternal Order of Police.
Has there been a pattern or a common denominator when it comes to the shooters doing these ambush attacks?
A lot of times they describe the person as a loner, but not every loner is going to do that.
The FBI has been studying the rising trend, interviewing both the shooters and the victims. Their findings are part of this training CBS News attended in West Virginia for local law enforcement.
They always have to have their head on a swivel. They've always got to have that situational awareness. And the unfortunate thing about law enforcement is they're truly never off duty.
Lilia Luciano joins me now from Loraine, Ohio, with more details on all this. Lilia, what more are you learning about the increase of these types of attacks on officers?
Well, Vlad, it's not just the ambush attacks, as you heard in the piece. This year so far, there have been 50 attacks of that nature. Last year, for the whole of the year, it was 80. The year before, it was 138. So last year, it came down from the year before. But there's a concern, hopefully not the case, that this year we've seen 50 so far. We're halfway through the year. There is a real worry among law enforcement. Look, I asked the expert we spoke with from the FOP here in the state of Ohio, why does this happen? He told me a few things. He said, look, we're worried that it could involve copycat attacks, that once people see that, somebody went down that way, that maybe, a future assailant is considering it, does it again. So we have to be obviously very careful as journalists in terms of how we cover this. He also talked about, when I asked him, are there any common denominators? And he says a lot of the people are these loners, people who might not be integrated in their communities. So he warned that people keep an eye out for, neighbors or family members who might be struggling with mental health. But at the same time, of course, not every loner is dangerous, so it's hard for them to track. I said, how are they preparing? And as you heard, just like the FBI says, officers have to, not create a pattern in their behavior, not go to the same places every day in terms of their patrol, and of course, be vigilant all the time.
And what could be, I guess the rationale, Lilia, is what is motivating these types of attacks?
Yeah, I asked that too, and of course it's hard to understand what's in the mind of a killer, of somebody who would pursue an attack of this nature. Right now, police here are investigating. Detectives are looking for a motive. We haven't heard whether there were any writings. Sometimes, when we cover these stories, there's writings, there's manifestos, things like that. Sometimes, you wonder if the person had any kind of altercation. I'm sure in some cases in the past, and we've read of cases in the past where it's not a random attack, but it's something that was planned. This clearly seems to have been premeditated because there was an arsenal of weapons, including explosive devices found in the scene in the shooter's car. I know that police went to his home. According to some reports, he lived with his parents at the time. But of course, it's impossible to know.
All right, Lilia, with a heartbreaking update for us this morning. Lilia, thank you very much.